Hello everybody, my name is Danielo and I work at Fiscalization as a sales manager. Today I'll be presenting you the general overview of the Norway fiscalization. So the Norwegian regulations of the cash register system entered into force on 1st January 2017. A transition period, of course, always is presented. So transition period in Norway was until January 1st, 2019. So when adapting to the new rules, there are two main principles that needs to be followed. First one is that no specific kind of certification process is involved in this fiscalization. So POS software, of course, must fulfill certain regulations, but no mandatory certification process. On the other hand, it is presented mandatory system description declaration. I will speak about that a little bit after. As long as particular function is not prohibited by the law and by the act of Norwegian government, it may be included in the system. So main fiscal requirements is that this is the software fiscalization, no mandatory for all cash sales. So everybody who is performing sales on the Norwegian market needs to follow these rules. Communication with the tax authority is not presented. And POS application doesn't need to go through the certification process. But like I said, declaration of conformity is present on the market, and special hardware requirements are not presented as well. So let's speak about general overview. So fiscal legislation is presented in the Cash Register System Act. So the Act prescribes mandatory elements for the POS system to follow and functions that must be included in that system. Established the obligation to file a declaration, like I said, to confirm that the cash register is in compliance with the Norwegian regulations, and the system description of the architecture of the cash register system and all of the functions that system has must be available and included with the cash register system documentation. So retailers must register all cash sales in the cash register system all the time and in every time that sales happen. So basically notes, coins and cards, everything needs to be registered in the cash register system. If the cash register has a display, this also must be clearly visible for the customer. So customer display, of course, is not mandatory, but if the cash register has that display, this must be visible for the customers. In the end of the day, it's obligatory to print or save a report of entries to the cash register for the day. So a set report is mandatory. Exceptions for the cash register system requirements. So if the cash sales are less than 4,500 euros, including VAT per year, there is no need to have a cash register system. This is very important. The same applies for the seasonal businesses or sporadic cash sales amounting to less of the 3 times of the national insurance basic amount, and it's approximately 30,000 euros. Internet sales and the cash on delivery sales are also not to be registered in the cash sales, so they don't need to follow the cash register system. Sales conducted through the vending machines are not subject to this cash register system obligations. To conclude, basically vending machines, internet sales are not mandatory to follow these rules. When we speak about fiscal transactions, obligatory fiscal transactions that needs to be supported by the POS are sales, refund, a copy of a receipt, also the training, set report, like I said, and that is all. That is all of the mandatory transactions. If we're gonna go further and speak about complexity of the fiscal law, first thing that comes to my mind is that every sales transaction needs to be digitally signed. It needs to be real-time signature. It's mandatory to use a key for the signature and issuing a self-guaranteed certificate that is used for signing. Also, everybody who is working in the Norwegian market needs to use and maintain electronic journal. The electronic journal must be protected against any alteration and deleteness. So every use of the POS must be stored in that electronic journal, and you need to have mandatory list of electronic journal event codes as well. Also, when we speak about electronic journal, you need to have a predefined export data files for this. Also, every POS provider needs to submit a declaration, I spoke about that earlier, to prove that the POS system fulfills all the requirements of the Norwegian cash register system regulations. So it has strict deadlines, a new declaration for every change is mandatory, and it is also with detailed content inside. So declaration is very important on this for this fiscal law. Also, the cash register system must have an integrated cash drawer at each point of sale. So each point of sale needs to have integrated cash drawer, and the POS software needs to be integrated with the export function. So transfer all the information from the electronic journal to external storage medium is mandatory, and exports are done in SAFT format. Detailed description of the POS system is also mandatory, so all functionalities of the system, documents for audit trail and service manuals needs to be in that declaration of the POS system. I already mentioned mandatory Z report, also X reports are mandatory by the law, and regular audits and fines are defined, and it's very complex, let's say, and audits both announced and unannounced. So they can come to your store to check your system without prior informing you about it. What can we do? What Fiscal Solutions can do? So we can provide you with all needed information through a workshop, suggest you the right architecture and approach for your POS system preparation. We can explain you and educate you of the entire process for the digital signatures and electronic journal, and of course SAFT export explanation can be done from our side, and of course procedures related to the audits, necessary reports, necessary registration of the cash register and processes, and of course maintaining the documentation, which is very important. We can help you about all of the above. And we can guide you and support you for product declaration. Like I said, it's a very important thing on this market. So content of declaration, submitting the declaration to the tax authority, as well as explaining of the mandatory maintenance process. This is all from the workshop side, and of course we can help you with the fiscal portal, with the regular updates about the introduction of the changes in Norwegian market, and basically help you on that side to be always compliant with the law. So our recommendation definitely for the next step is fiscal workshop, get the legal and technical details explained, be ready to make a decision best for your provider and for you, and how to implement your POS application. And after doing the workshop with us, enjoy 30 days of warranty to get all the answers and potential questions that you could have after the workshop. Or of course you can subscribe on the fiscal portal and get all detailed information, documentation from the legal, technical, and of course business side. You can get relevant news and even alerts in case of important changes in the Norwegian market. Thank you for listening.